So today we are going to just understand uh,
Mm-hmm.
the concepts of primitive value and object value, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by primitive value? Primitive value, primitive, okay. And we are going
Mm-hmm.
to understand versus sometime object value. We already know, just I'm trying to explain there are some value. Okay, so what do we primitive value? Primitive value means the like integer x equal to 10, right?
String, yeah, string float.
Yes, so all are the primitive. You can say integer. These are the primitive value.
Hmm.
Generally, here like int, you can say like double, okay,
Or float, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or whole float, you can say,
double, yeah.
okay, or you can say. So these are the primitive value. Even you are like a boolean, okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
These are the boolean value. Boolean b. So these are known as a primitive value. And there are something like what is the object value?
Mm-hmm.
Object value like you should know string.
String, yeah.
String s1 equal to new string. This is the one. This is your object value. Or you can say string buffer sb equal to new string buffer 2. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
these are the object.
We
Mm-hmm.
have
So
not
why say
discussed string buffer.
this is example? Lots of
Yeah.
classes in the existing library.
Okay, okay,
Or
okay.
you can say this is the my class test. Okay, my class, and let's say they have a one name. Let's integer value. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and just define test your integer. Okay, b equal to b1. Okay, so this is your class. Means ki object value means ki you have need some class, right? Test is a class. Now
Mm-hmm.
we are say test. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
equal
Mm-hmm.
to new test. Okay, so all this known as a your object value. All this is known as a test value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of sorry, primitive value, right?
Primitive value, yeah.
Primitive.
There is no any confusion. See the primitive is these are the data types. You know these are 8 data type we already know. Integer, float, double, long, right?
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, char, bull, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all are these are the your primitive data types.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever why these two kind of declaration? Sometime in the left hand side, this is your data type, this is the variable name, and this is the value. This is the data types test
Mm-hmm.
variable name var test, okay, and your this is the value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the primitive value. Directly we assign the value, right? Here
Mm-hmm.
we can create the object and then assign the value, set the value, right?
All right.
So major differences between this and this will take less size, this will take larger size in memory footprint.
Acha.
Whenever you are going to store in memory, they is taking little bit less space compared to this. The one thing, right? So
Mm.
for all this now, let's question. Now I am create the list. Here say list of let's test. Okay, test.
Mm.
So list. Okay, equal
Mm-hmm.
to new array list. Okay, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here we are trying to say list dot add, right? So what add this dot add? What here we can add? We can add the object of test class, right? Here
Mm-hmm.
we can add this. We can add this, right? Test object,
All right.
or we can add any new test object. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
new test object that would be 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Here you can say add methods are expecting only this kind of object, test object. So
अच्छा.
all the collections framework which till now we have understand, they only expect the object. Here you can only pass the list of object or map of object, right?
Mhm.
But this is not object, right?
Mm.
Right.
Can I pass x here?
No, you need to put you need to put a integer. Change
Yeah,
that to integer.
right. So due to that, Java designer say all the our collection frameworks, okay, are working on the object. Collection framework on the object. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So question is that is we can work the primitive value or not? How to work on the primitive value? So Java decided okay for all these 8 primitive types, for all these 8 primitive data types, we need a corresponding primitive types. Uh, Java designer created the object value
Mhm.
corresponding the object value. Okay, so these are by default compiler means Java designer is supported to you. So whatever the int, float, let's float f equal to 1.1f, right?
Mhm.
Float f what say? Not a okay variable. Oh, sorry, float. Okay, float,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Float double long. Okay, long L equal to okay.
अच्छा.
Or this is the 4 and this is the char bool. What is the remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which are the remaining? Okay. These are the two more. Int we have a one byte. Byte b equal to okay.
Mhm.
Byte b integer long and one is the sort, right? Byte sort int. One is the sort. Okay. So these are
Mhm.
the all the primitive type. These are the all your integer number. These are your float number. These are
Float
your
number.
character. These are the boolean, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
these all are considered as a primitive value.
Mhm.
So corresponding 8 Java creates the object value. Object means they created the class for you, right?
Mhm.
Object value means we have a need a class and then we can create the object, right?
True.
Yeah.
So similarly, Java is created corresponding object value. Those known as a wrapper classes.
Mhm.
Okay. Someone asks you what is the wrapper classes? Wrapper classes means for all primitive 8 data type value, Java is provided corresponding object value.
Mhm.
So like for integer, so integer is the primitive value. What would be the corresponding object value? You say just write a class name. A class name, that naming convention should be start with a capital letter. So here say you just write a capital letter integer. So this is your integer class, right? And here equal to say like a new integer and
Integer.
pass any value, right?
Right.
But Generally, say these are the fixed value, range fixed. So generally preference way, don't create this way, because this method, this way, before the Java 9, we are able to create. But now say this is the method. Is notice the deprecated method. Notice here, deprecated. Since Java 9, this kind of constructors are deprecated by the Java designer. Means Java designer say, ki, please don't use this way, just use this method value of, right?
Mhm. All right.
Because in future, this constructor going to remove from the Java library. Any method you can say deprecated means Java designers sometime decided after lots of experience, these kind of things in future have a problematic, right? Or maybe some performances, right? Due to
Mhm.
that, they come up with a new latest version. So if you want
Mhm.
to create the object of this integer class, you have to use the value of function, right? So
Mhm.
instead of this, say, I'm not interested. You can create the object like here. Here say you the integer class dot static method value of. Static method can be called from the class name, right? Value of 45, right? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Even say by default, Java says generally preference way we can create this way, right? So is it not possible direct we can assign value? It say yes, it is also possible. You
So
can say
I have a question.
1 minute. Here say you can directly just assign this whatever the value you want. Like in the case of a string, notice
Right.
string directly can assign any value, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So this is your primitive data type integer x corresponding object value like this. Yes, ask a
Mm.
question.
Yeah. So is it same like a few days ago when we studied list? When we declare the list and set, so we do array list dot list of, right?
Right, right.
Or,
This
or,
one,
or the
right.
as
As
list,
list of, yes.
as list.
Arrange
Yeah.
list as a primitive, right? Yes.
So that one also,
Yes, same thing.
we're using the object
Yeah,
concept for
right.
this. It looks similar.
Similar, same thing. Just I'm trying to say here, there are two terminology Java designers say this is concept known as a your what this is class known as a wrapper classes. And by default, this primitive value you are assigning to the object. This
Mhm.
concept known as a auto boxing.
Mhm.
Autoboxing. Okay.
Auto boxing.
Box.
Because by default, this object compiler converted from this line converted to this line.
Mhm.
You don't do, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So question whenever this value let's value this is the 89, wherever 89 value I can also 89 in this way. So that means the place x you can use this integer one actually, right? Object
Right.
I can write here integer uh, like x1 equal to 89, right?
Mhm.
That means this is the object value, this is the primitive value. So here, notice this is the primitive value assigned to the integer. Here, primitive value assigned to the object. How internally compiler do auto boxing for you? Auto
Mhm.
boxing means this is the object converted to the primitive value. So both
Okay.
option here I say x1 equal to this is a primitive value. I can say here integer one as well as
Mhm.
means ki object can assign to the primitive or reverse versus integer one instead of integer object. Okay, integer object.
Mhm.
Integer object we can assign to the primitive and even primitive assigned to the integer value. Both vice versa compiler support.
Mhm.
So what do you mean by whenever you are assigning any primitive x. This is the primitive x. Primitive x you are assigning to the object, right? Similarly, object can be assigning to the primitive as well as. So this
Oh,
concept known as a boxing. Boxing means boxing or auto boxing
Oh, okay. So this is something new.
terminology.
Yeah.
This is
Autobot.
automatically conversion happen from here, from primitive to object, because they are expecting object, right? That means it
Right.
should be object, right? So
Right.
internally object creation happen. Here your object going to assign the primitive. That means object is need to convert to primitive value. So this automatic conversion happens due to this concept known as a auto boxing. Due to this auto boxing, we can create here like a list of integer, list of integer, right? And here I can say list one dot add, and here I can pass, maybe I can pass like integer object, integer int one or two equal to integer dot value of 506, right? And you can pass add here, right? Or this is by default nature because you are creating the list of integer. So here you can integer object, you can add, right? Even we can directly add any, let's keep primitive value integer x3 equal to 90, and I can add x3 as well as here. So why add method are expected primitive value, right? X3 or even object. This is internally auto boxing happen. Means ki this primitive value internally converted to the object of integer, because this syntax say ki they support integer object. You can only add the integer object, right here. Notice
Right.
they say list of test. You can only add the test. You cannot here say list of add like any 45, because this is the 45 number. We cannot convert as a test object. This is not auto conversion, right?
Right.
Here say list of test means you can only add the test object, right?
Okay. Okay. So instead of putting the number, you can put the object that refer to that number.
Right. So here this concept already know. Here I can just directly put the number, right?
Oh, you can put number here.
Yeah, this is the primitive value, but here they are expecting integer object.
Right. Right.
So how it's possible? Due to auto boxing. Auto boxing, right? This primitive number 91 value internally converted to the integer object. Due to that, compiler is very happy to hear, but here compiler is not happy because this primitive value cannot convert it to the test. Any confusion till now?
Yeah. Can you explain this point again? The difference
Yeah.
between that 56 and 91.
Yes, I am trying to say here I am created the list of test, right? That means this list only add test object, right?
That's
This is the object test or test object. But here I am trying to set last one primitive value 56. The
right.
56 is a primitive value, cannot the test, right? So they are not allowed, right?
Right.
But here I created the list of integer. Here I can pass the integer object. It's okay, right? It's okay. Here I can pass primitive value, right? 91. It's still okay. Why? 91 is the primitive value. This is the object expecting, right? This is the
Right.
list one is the object. So how happen? So internally this 91 primitive value is going to converted in the object value. That means internally compiler say create the one this is object. This internally they created this, right? The integer dot value of 91, and they associate this the list. So this primitive value internally converted to the integer object. I'm trying to say this concept known as a autoboxing. Autoboxing means primitive value automatically converted to the object value. Confusion?
Um, it's good now.
Okay. So here say, so I started. What is the primitive value? These are the primitive value.
Right.
What is the object value? Object value is the any kind of class and the particular constructor, right? These are the object value.
Correct. Correct.
So for some specific purpose, compiler automatically do for you. For all these 8 data types, compiler automatically do conversion from primitive value to object value.
Right.
And vice versa, reverse. If any object value are converted to the primitive value, so corresponding, these are the 8 primitive data types, corresponding 8 wrapper classes created, right? For integer, integer class, double, long class, float class, double class, character class, boolean class. So corresponding, these are the 8 data types, and corresponding are all the wrapper classes created. Uh, just I am simply say wrapper class for byte, byte, byte is the wrapper class, right?
Right.
And similarly for sort is the byte one. Okay, sort. You can create the object. Similarly for integer in. Okay. Similarly long. All are these by default. JVM created the class for primitive data type known as a wrapper class, right? Long, ln. Okay. So these are the 4 integer data type. Similarly for float. For double. Similarly for boolean. For boolean.
Boolean.
Okay. Similarly for character. So these all, for all 8 data types, 8 wrapper classes created by the Java virtual machine.
Right.
And whenever they say these are the primitive value, they directly convert to this object value. If this is the object value, automatically converted to the primitive value. So this automatically happen due to that here sometime I can add object.
Right.
What happened here? Say list dot get. If you say list dot get let's one position value. So what do you expect? They return the test object. Yeah, they return the test, right?
That's right.
Similarly here say list one dot get. What they return? They return the integer. Let's return the 0, 1, 2, right? So notice
Okay.
this is
So
the
second option.
0, 1, 2, right? So
Yeah.
they return 91 as an object. Notice not the primitive here, right? So here this value, this primitive value automatically converted to the object.
Right.
And even Java say you can write this is the primitive as well as. Okay, both are work. Notice from list we can get integer object, or list we can get primitive value. So here automatic conversion happen because you cannot type primitive value because this is the list of integer object. So they are holding only integer object. So they can get return only integer object. But internally conversion happen and you can cast in the primitive value. So here also conversion happen while this is the collections of object, right? Collections of test object. Here you can adding one object, adding another object, adding another object. But this is the primitive value, right? So you cannot add it in the collections. So internally compiler go convert to the object and then save here, right?
Right.
Whenever say get, so I am reading here, I can say assign to the object, no problem, directly assign, right? Again reading value here, and you can say assign to the primitive. Oh, need a conversion. So here conversion again happen and assign to the primitive value. So this automatically conversion from primitive data types to the corresponding object value. From object value to corresponding integer primitive data value.
Right.
This concept known as a boxing unboxing.
Mm.
Okay.
The
And
here concept known as a
this is
unboxing.
highly used this way.
Always
Okay.
in the collections API we are using, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
In the collections API, this is the major problem before Java 5. Before Java 5, collections were exist. But in these collections, we are not option directly add this. If uh, might be you are not facing this issue, but when I was in working as a Java 4, JDK 4, at that time we have this list array list object, but we cannot add this primitive value because
Right.
they are expecting only object. The first we have to convert the object and then we have to add. This is the allowable at that time.
Mhm.
Because at that time auto box auto conversion meaning boxing unboxing is not supported. The boxing and unboxing concepts are come in Java 5
Mhm.
since JDK
Right.
5. Since JDK 5, this concept auto boxing, boxing, unboxing, auto boxing, boxing, or unboxing, right, is supported. Due to that, this primitive value can assign to the object.
Mhm.
So in Java 5, lots of programming changes happen. One of the key changes was they are introduced all the wrapper classes and corresponding automatic conversion. You don't write this way, okay? Directly write this value, okay? Directly write this value. So we are doing lots of things. Many times we are doing here this here. Notice I'm generally whenever writing some example, I say like here, list of, notice list of, I say 2 comma 3 comma 5, right?
Mhm.
That var, right?
Mhm.
Notice
Right.
these are the primitive value, but we are getting the object right here. How
Mhm.
possible? Internally, these primitive are going to convert it to the object, right?
Mhm.
So
So
these
in this case, can we type integer dot add let's say 9?
you notice the list of is the immutable data structure. Let's try list of. Here you try to,
Yeah.
okay, and notice immutable means this data object you cannot modify. Okay, if you run compiler through exception, why? Because this off method return immutable collection that cannot be modified, right?
If we add a array list at the beginning.
That will do. That will do. Let's
Okay. Okay. I see. I see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
let me where the defined b duplicates just 1 minute. Where is the b duplicate?
Below, I think below.
B, yeah, B. This let's B1. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm trying to check. This is the I'm just so in the list and the array list we can we already define many places B again.
Now it's working.
Yeah. So now notice immutable exception means this is the different concept. List of always return the immutable. You cannot going to add and modify any value. Look like the this is the array. Whenever you create array, you cannot add and remove element, right? But here alternative way. Let's you cannot do, but here you can say like array list, like here arrays as list, and here pass 3 comma 4 comma 8, right?
Right.
or list2, and let's dot add, let's 88. Okay,
Yeah. Is it get or add?
let me check what say add.
Add.
And this 3 4
Um,
unsupported operations. So this list also return the immutable. So I am going to use the new array list, right? Notice this is the unsupported operation. Notice here, no,
okay.
because they return the, if you notice, they return the immutable collections, new array list, right? So
Hmm.
due to that we cannot modify. So let's go to the different way. This is the immutable connection, right? So
Right.
here you can say like or you can say, you notice, just wrap in the new array list, right? Uh, last time say कि this is the things, you just wrap the new array list, right? And
Hmm.
this will become a mutable, right? Dot add, right? Here add, you can add 88, right? So these are the data structure. By default they returning the list that is immutable, means you cannot modify them, you cannot add, just you can read them value, right? Sometimes this is a requirement, right?
Hmm.
Now what say, okay, I have to just remove out this. So whenever you want to something mutable, you can use an array list, right?
Right.
Notice array list initially 36 set, 36 set, 999, 99 added 99, right?
Hmm.
So why this happen? Why this primitive value work with the object? Due to this boxing concept, right?
Hmm.
If you notice here, compiler automatically help you to use the boxing, right?
All
Because
right.
this object internally converted by the primitive. Why you are doing, right?
Hmm.
So this is the possible since JDK 5, but now we are using like Java 2021, so latest version. So latest version, all the feature you have. So always we are creating the list, and in that list we directly add primitive value. Yeah, directly get the primitive value, right? So
Hmm.
this is
Right.
happen internally. So we feel like it's the integer primitive or integer object. Look like the same thing, right? But internally not same. Before Java 5 it's not possible you can add any primitive value in the list, no. But Java 5 onward allow internally. Java runtime system convert this primitive to object value to the primitive. Here we are getting the object but converting to the primitive value, right?
Hmm. Gotcha.
So is it clear what
Yeah.
is boxing unboxing?
That's right.
That means this is happen for all these 8, not only just I give an example integer, but it is work for all these 8 data types. Be clear, right? Even
Right.
character, boolean, float, def, right? And good past. Now let's good example like this is a character, right?
Hmm.
Let's I'm giving one more example, like this is a primitive type character ch, this is the character, right? Let's see,
Right.
one equal to a, right? And similarly, you can write the wrapper classes. Character C2 equal to A. Okay. So now these are the primitive value, these are the wrapper value. Okay. And notice, but this S out, you can print, right? S out, print. Here you cannot apply, because this is the primitive value, you cannot get any kind of method, right? No method here, right?
No
You can,
method.
but
Yeah.
this is the class. This class provide lots of utility method. Not only
Hmm.
the auto conversion, this primitive value assigned to the object. Notice primitive value assigned to the object automatically. But
Hmm.
here lots of classes you have. If this is the class, and Java provided lots of utility method here.
Hmm.
So you can check the multiple methods you have. Like you have to check is it digit number or character number, is uppercase or lowercase, what this is, right?
Right.
Is it space? Is what not? This is Unicode. Is it uppercase? Lots of things you can validate and check. So not only provide the automatic conversion from primitive value to character value, but also provide in the case of lots of utility method, right? So here you
Okay.
can now have an option dot check is c2 dot get maybe character dot is check is alphabetic this number or is it digit, what lots of function you can check, right? Let's check is the what the lots of utility method you have is it digit number, let's check c2. This the method automatic this class is provided for us, right? So now we
Hmm.
have lots of additional functions like this is the primitive, just remove, right? So this is not the just conversion, but at that the same time lots of notice this is not a digit, right? We have to check the particular this digit or not digit, right? Or this is the character, what,
Hmm.
right? So
Right.
this character classes also help us maybe check it is white space or a space, what, right? So lots of character related classes helping method. This class is already given to you. This class,
Hmm.
this utility classes, many places we are going to use, right?
Right.
Whenever you are going to use the primitive, there is a no any method. You have to carefully write your code, right? To check the number
Hmm.
uppercase, lowercase, right? Digit, what? ASCII value, what, right?
Right.
So these are things you have to explore. This is the wrapper class, right?
Right.
Lots of thing you can do here, lots of function you can check here. You can compare two character, two digit, get the character types, hash code, unicode, lots of ISO control. Okay, what are the things they have lots of method, is lowercase, is uppercase, what, right? Just check, you notice is lowercase we have to write the method,
Hmm.
right? Now
Right.
just you can use this utility method. This help us know okay, this is lowercase or not lowercase, uppercase or not uppercase, right? Just use
Hmm.
this character class. If you look our last previous classes where we have many times we write the is digit, is lowercase, is alphabet function, right? Manually written, right?
Hmm.
All these function is written for you. Notice this is the it function written for you. This is lots of business logic internally help us, right? So these all 8 wrapper classes we have and lots of corresponding utility method they have offer, right? But the major benefit of these wrapper classes is that these all primitive value have a corresponding wrapper classes, and these are primitive value can be converted to the object easily, and even object can be converted to the primitive. Both are automatic happening, right?
Hmm.
This is the main you can say work. Auto conversion is handled by your Java runtime system. As a developer, you don't need to do anything. Okay,
Hmm.
is it any confusion? What is wrapper classes? Wrapper classes is just classes. Notice these all classes are immutable classes. Okay, once you notice this value 85 you can create it, the 85 value is just 85, right? You cannot say is this is 90, yeah, 91. These are the constant value, right? 56 is the value and 56 is only 56, right? You
Uh-huh.
cannot say 51, 59. 59 is a
No.
different value, 58 is a
Right.
different value, right? Not
Right.
the same.
No.
So all these primitives value are very final, very constant, cannot be changeable, right? So whenever
That's,
this value 89 going to convert to the object should be unmodifiable, right?
object
So
should be
all these classes
object
is
should
uh,
object should be unmodifiable.
yes, once
Mhm.
created you cannot change. Change means new
আচ্ছা,
value.
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা, আচ্ছা,
Let's
ঠিক।
this is the value 56.
It
56
should be
is just
56.
56. If you
56.
want
Right,
to
right.
55, 55 is a new value, right?
Right, right, right. You're right.
57 is a new value, not a 56. 56 is
Right.
just 56, right?
100%.
So look
100%.
like
Yeah.
if I am say value 7, this is the
Yeah.
value 7 means 7. No, you can modify them. If you modify maybe 8, 8 is a different value. 6,
Right,
6 is a
right,
different value, right? So
right.
this is a fixed and non-modifiable value. You cannot modify
Mhm.
anything here.
Sure.
So similarly, these all corresponding wrapper class is also unmodifiable. Means ki look
Acha.
like a constant. Just use
Mhm.
them, create and use them.
Mhm.
You cannot in all this method no any setter method. Set the value.
Mhm.
Let's give the boolean. So
Mhm.
you can create like here boolean. Boolean B, right? Boolean
Right.
Right.
equal to new generally boolean. This way generally try to avoid, right? So you can say boolean of 4, boolean of you
Mhm.
here pass the boolean value variables, right? This way.
Right.
So this is also automatic auto boxing happen. So they say कि you guys use the boxing concept, right? IntelliJ help
Mhm.
us use the
Mhm.
boxing, right? Why
Right.
you are reading
Right.
manually write this? Internally compiler do for you, but you can write, right? You can write this way or simply write this way. Both are the same thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is work not for integer for all the
All the
8
numbers.
data types. Automatic conversion happen.
Acha, 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 acha.
So please know all these are the wrapper classes
Mhm.
and corresponding 8 primitive data types.
Acha.
And anywhere from primitive to object, object to primitive conversion automatic happen. You don't even consider, but
Mhm.
you should aware it is happening behind the hood.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, whenever you want to any kind of character processing, is check is digit, is uppercase, is lowercase. Try to use this class dot utility method. Similarly, all these classes have utility method, right? Integer
Mhm.
have a long, have float, double, characters. So whenever in future you are going to use any kind of character processing, string processing, let's
Mhm.
use the class of character class. Character dot is white space, is digit, is alphabet, is character.
Mhm.
What is the
Mhm.
ASCII value? What is the character value, right?
Mhm.
All the utility method this class provided to you.
Mhm.
So there are multiple benefit. One is the auto unboxing, auto conversion from primitive to object, object to primitive, and plus
Mhm.
lots of utility helper method for us.
Acha, acha, acha.
So now clear what is
Pretty much.
wrapper wrapper classes and what is boxing.
Mhm.
Boxing means maybe
Mhm.
boxing or unboxing.
Right.
Meaning clear. Boxing means converting primitive to object,
Okay.
converting primitive to object, boxing,
Mhm.
a boxing to again primitive unboxing. Right?
Right.
So sometime also say like auto boxing. Okay, auto means ki
Mhm.
automatic happen, right?
Mhm.
Auto boxing or unboxing. So so these are the today we have now. Whenever you are going to use the collections, these primitive value we can freely use object or primitive both interchangeable any times.
Mhm. Acha.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Generally, we are writing lots of classes similar here. Many times I write something primitive here object, right? But at
Right.
that time I'm not explain ki why this is the primitive, this is the object, right? Because this is
Mhm.
automatic happening, right? Here I can add the any primitive value. Why? Because they are expecting integer. Still adding primitive value because
Mhm.
automatically conversion happening.
Acha, acha.
Let's practice any doubt, any confusion we can also discuss. Till now, any question with this concept? Wrapper classes, autoboxing, primitive value, object value, and conversion.
That was good now. Yeah.
Good, Riyad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good now.
So that's good.
Thank you, Ajay.
Anything for the day?
Yeah, that's everything. Yeah.